Hi everyone, welcome back to another episode of T's Theses. For today, I have for you the last book in my February 2003 mystery novel reading list. And today's book is entitled Exiles by author Jane Harper. And I know it's sad to say that I purchased this book as well as 3 others back in the month of February. And I am just now finished reading all of them. I think I set a goal to read like 30 books this year, and Goodreads is like, what's going on? But you know what? I'm only like 1 or 2 books behind, so I plan on meeting that goal. Not only do I plan on reading 30 books this year, I think I'm going to read like 30 or 31. Today's mystery novel, Exiles, is set in a small town located in southern Australian wine country. And one of the things that I did not realize about this novel until it was too late is that although it is a new mystery, it is actually the 3rd book in the Aaron Falk series, Aaron Falk being the main character of the story. So in Exiles, Aaron is headed off to Melbourne, Australia for the christening of his godson, Henry. And the thing about this christening is it was actually postponed for a year. Last year, during the Melbourne annual festival, a friend of the family by the name of Kim disappeared from the festival, leaving her 6-week-old daughter in a stroller in one of the stalls at the festival. And so because of Kim's disappearance, they didn't really feel like they should continue on with this christening. However, it is now a year later, and not only is it the anniversary of Kim's disappearance, but it's also the anniversary of the festival. So Kim's 17-year-old daughter is now reaching out to people on the first opening day of the festival, asking them if they have any information on Kim's disappearance. And because Aaron was there last year, he is also an AFP agent and also a detective. Zara, Kim's daughter, and his friend Greg Racco, who is also a police officer, is asking Aaron for some of his insight on some of the evidence and theories that they have come up with over the year. And so, as I said, because Aaron was there and he has this thick file of information that his friend Racco has given him, and he's also got these theories that Kim's daughter Zara has come up with, he's starting to think about things involving this case. And Aaron's a little bit like me. Things don't just come to him right off. He takes things into his subconscious, and his mind kind of dwells on the little bits of evidence that he's been given. And eventually, over the course of the story, he does eventually solve the mystery. But one of the things about this novel, for me, it felt like the author went into this story already knowing how she wanted it to end, already knowing what was going to happen to Kim. And it felt like to me that because of this, that when the clues were placed within the story, it didn't feel natural. It felt like it was thought of afterwards, like, let me have this conversation between these 2 characters and have them say something random that the reader might pick up on later. Then we have the part of the novel where we get to see the story from Kim's perspective. And for me, because, we have 3/4 of the story where we get to learn about Kim from her friends and family. And so when we have this small part of the story where Kim has given us a little bit of background information into her life to help us understand what happened to her, it didn't feel natural. It felt like an afterthought. And I think we have this small portion where we get to know Kim so the reader can empathize with her. But for me, it didn't work out that way. I think this story would have been better written as a screenplay and developed into a movie, where the parts where we get this background information about Kim would have been better introduced as flashbacks. That way, I think it would have been more natural. It would have worked out, been a more organic story. And that way we might have been able to empathize with Kim. I think that the little clues that were placed within the story would have worked better. and it would have made the story run a bit smoothly. Because the thing is, when the mystery is finally revealed, for me, there was no aha moment. You know, there was no, oh yeah, when they said this, oh, that makes sense now. To me, it just ended up being, oh, so that's what happened. Okay. You know, so to me, like I said, it didn't really work the way I felt like a mystery should. It should either be where, okay, yeah, I had already figured it out. Or like I said, it should have been like, oh, wow, let me go back and read that part where, oh, that makes sense now. And it wasn't that for me. And so because it wasn't that for me, I ended up giving a novel 3 stars. I think it was a pretty decent read. I did want to find out what happened to Kim. And even though I didn't like what happened to Kim, I still liked the story that was being told. Harper is actually a pretty decent writer. And so, as I said, because it was an okay novel and a decent read, then I gave it 3 stars. However, I do not have any plans on going back to find out anything about Aaron Falk. It just wasn't an interesting enough story for me to want to learn anything else about him. So that concludes today's video. Thank you again for sticking around until the end. And until next time, you guys, you take care, you stay safe, and try to do something nice for a stranger so we can all do our part to make this world a better place.